In a forgotten time, hidden between towering mountains and deep valleys, there existed a place known as Kandara. It was a land cut off from the outside world, ruled by fear, silence, and strict control. The people of Kandara lived under constant watch. Soldiers from the Iron Kingdom patrolled the narrow paths and dusty roads, ensuring that no forbidden knowledge spread among the villagers. Books were destroyed, gatherings were forbidden, even hope itself was treated as a crime. In this place, silence was survival. But even in the darkest valleys, light does not disappear. It only waits to be discovered. And in Kandara, that discovery would begin with a young boy named Elias Kandar. Elias lived in a small clay house at the edge of a quiet village. His life was simple and humble, shaped by daily routines of work and survival. He lived with his grandmother, the only family he had ever known, in a home filled with quiet strength and unspoken fear. Though life in Kandara was controlled, Elias often sensed that something was missing, something deeper than the daily struggle to survive. The village around him had learned to live carefully. People spoke in low voices. Eyes were always watching. Trust had become rare, and fear had become normal. Yet within Elias, curiosity slowly began to grow. One morning, the village was shaken by the sound of approaching horses. Soldiers entered with authority, reminding everyone of the strict laws imposed upon them. Homes were searched, warnings were given. Fear spread quickly, as it always did. For Elias, this moment left a deep impression. He began to notice how fear shaped every part of life in Kandara. Even children learned to lower their eyes when soldiers passed. Even adults had forgotten what it meant to feel safe. That day planted a silent question within him. Why must life be lived this way? Time passed, and Elias was sent into the forest beyond the village to gather firewood. The forest was dense and quiet, far from the presence of soldiers and rules. It was one of the few places where the air felt different, almost free. As he moved deeper between the trees, he came across something unusual. A hollow, broken tree standing alone. Something inside it reflected light faintly. Curiosity led him closer. Hidden within the trunk was an old leather-bound book, worn by time and carefully concealed. It was a Bible. At that moment, Elias did not fully understand what he had found. But as he opened its pages, something inside him stirred. The words spoke of hope, courage, truth, and a presence greater than fear itself. For the first time, Elias encountered a message that did not belong to the world he knew. As he continued reading, time seemed to fade. The forest around him disappeared into silence. Every word carried weight, as if it had been waiting for him all along. But the discovery did not remain hidden for long. Sounds of movement in the forest broke the stillness. Soldiers were nearby, searching the area. Their presence brought immediate danger. Instinct took over. Elias fled through the forest, clutching the book tightly as he ran. The trees became obstacles, and every sound behind him grew closer. Panic filled the air as the chase intensified. The forest that once felt peaceful now became a place of survival. Eventually, Elias found refuge inside a small cave hidden among the rocks. There, in complete darkness, he waited until silence returned. It was in that moment of isolation that the meaning of what he had found began to settle within him. Inside the cave, Elias continued reading. The world outside no longer mattered. Fear still existed, but it no longer controlled him in the same way. The words in the book spoke of strength in weakness, light in darkness, and hope in suffering. Ideas that felt impossible in Kandara suddenly felt real within those pages. Something within Elias began to change, not suddenly, but deeply, quietly, permanently. He realized that what he had discovered was not just information, it was truth that could not be easily destroyed. When he finally returned to his village, nothing appeared different on the surface. The same silence remained, the same fear lingered in the air, but Elias had changed. He carried what he had found carefully, hiding it from the world around him. At first, he kept it secret, unsure of what to do with it, but the weight of what he had discovered became impossible to contain. Slowly, carefully, he began to share fragments of what he had read with others, first with a few, then with more. Hope, long forgotten in Kandara, began to reappear in small, quiet moments. People listened in secret. Gatherings formed under the cover of night. Words of truth spread cautiously through the village like a hidden flame. Fear did not disappear, but it began to lose its complete control. As the movement grew quietly, so did the danger. The Iron Kingdom noticed changes within Kandara. Reports of forbidden gatherings reached the soldiers. Soon, a commander was sent to investigate. The village was searched again, this time more aggressively. Fear returned, heavier than before. Elias knew the risk had increased, but the truth he carried no longer felt like something that could be abandoned. It had become part of him. Eventually, the hidden movement was discovered. Soldiers moved quickly through the village, breaking into homes and dragging people into the open. The atmosphere became tense and heavy, filled with uncertainty. Elias did not attempt to escape when the soldiers came for him. He stood still as the truth was revealed. He was taken into custody. Chains were placed on him, and he was brought away from the village he had once called home. The prison where Elias was held was cold and silent. Stone walls surrounded him, with little light reaching inside. It was a place designed to break people, but instead, something unexpected happened. Even within confinement, Elias did not lose what he had found. The hope he carried remained alive within him. Others in the prison began to notice this difference. Slowly, they gathered near him. Words of encouragement and truth began to circulate among those who had long been forgotten by the world outside. Even in captivity, light continued to spread. Outside the prison, change was also beginning to take shape. The people of Kandara, inspired by what had been shared with them, began to resist fear in quiet but powerful ways. They no longer hid everything. They no longer accepted silence completely. The Iron Kingdom attempted to suppress these changes, but something had already shifted. Fear was no longer absolute. Inside the prison, Elias remained unchanged in his conviction. He did not fight with force. He did not resist with violence. Instead, he remained steady in what he believed. His presence alone became a reminder that fear does not define truth. Even those who guarded the prison began to question what they had been told to believe. Over time, the influence of what began in Kandara spread beyond the valley. The hidden teachings were preserved, copied, and shared quietly. The movement that started with one boy grew beyond anything anyone could have expected, and though Elias remained in prison, his impact could no longer be contained. Eventually, the control that once ruled Kandara began to weaken. The strict systems that had enforced fear started to collapse under the weight of something they could not fully understand: hope that refused to die. The village slowly transformed. What was once a place of silence became a place of rebuilding. As time passed, the story of Elias Kandar became more than a memory. It became a symbol, a reminder that even in the most controlled darkness, a single act of discovery can change everything. The valley of Kandara, once hidden and shadowed, was no longer the same, and neither was the world it had touched. For light, once awakened, does not remain in one place, it spreads. Subscribe for more videos like this.